Hi, babies. Welcome back to another Treasure Box Challenge. This week it's brought to you by World Cultures.
Hola, bonjour, buongiorno, salam, ni hao, jambo. There's so many ways to say hello. And yes, language is a huge part of culture, but culture is so much more. Culture gives us a window into people's lives. It gives us joy. It makes us human. What do you treasure most about a culture? Maybe it's food, maybe it's language, music, art, people, traditions, values. Remember that we all have culture, no matter where you come from. We invite you to search for a treasure within this week. Perhaps something from your heritage or a connection to another people group or place that you adore. Open the box. What's inside? And now to Señor Iser.
Gracias, señora Reed. Okay, hola estudiantes, hola Inspire.
Hola, ¿cómo estáis?
I'm here with mi mamá, Lola, and welcome to this week's Treasure Box Challenge brought to you by World Languages. And yeah, for me, when I talk about the treasure of a culture, and specifically about my own culture, and as most of you know that I was born and raised in Spain until I was 12, something that I truly value and cherish, and I find quite the treasure inside my treasure box is food. And the time spent cooking food with a loved one, and the time spent, enjoying that food and hanging out. And for that, I brought my mom here today to tap into those roots and talk a little bit about flan and what it means to us. And just so you know that when we talk about culture in for any country, we always do the framework of the 3 P's, las tres P's, for culture. That's how we talk about culture, whether it's your culture or another culture. So the first P stands for productos, which are products. The second P stands for practices or prácticas, and the third P stands for perspectivas or perspectives. Wait, what? You don't know what those are? Okay, let's take a moment and let's look at those individually real quick. Okay, so we have products. Products are the tangible or intangible creations of a particular culture. They often reflect the culture's perspectives. Some tangible products are paintings, a cathedral, a piece of literature, a pair of chopsticks, or even a person from that culture. We also have intangible products. These could be things such as an oral tale, a dance, a sacred ritual, a system of education, or even a law. Now, practices. Practices are patterns of social interactions or behaviors. Practices often involve the use of products. They represent the knowledge of what to do, when and where, and how to interact within a particular culture. Some examples are the use of social space, playing norms, traditions on holiday celebrations, etc. And lastly, we have perspectives. These are the attitudes, the values, the beliefs, the ideas that underlie the cultural practices and products of a society. They represent a culture's view of the world and what they value most. So there are your 3 P's. And now, let's go back and make some flan. Okay, so now that you have a little better idea of what the tres P's, those 3 P's mean, we're going to go ahead and kind of walk you through them as we make flan. For us, flan is going to be our product. That is the end product that we're going to make, and is a traditional Spanish sweet dessert, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. The second P is going to be the practice, and that's going to be this time spent with mi mamá, making the flan, getting all the little, the recipe from her, writing down the recipe so that I can pass it down to, my kids, and they can pass it on so that, abuela's recipe can stay alive for a long time. And then in the end, the perspective, the underlying value of all of this is the appreciation for food, traditional food, and therefore keeping alive the tradition of a family and the time spent together making and enjoying it. So this value of family and food and tradition. That's what those 3 P's are going to be for us. So to get started, we're going to make flan. So just so you know, Flan is a sweet dessert that was made well beyond we had pastries or bakeries, and it was a homemade product. And it was made with very simple, accessible, ingredients. And flan dates back like centuries before the birth of Jesus Christ. So that's quite a long time ago. So to make the flan that we're gonna do today, we have
Huevos.
5 huevos, okay? And then we have
Azúcar.
azúcar, dulce, 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 dulce. Y tenemos
Leche.
leche y un limón. And you are going to need, for this recipe, it is a 8 by 6 by 2 inch Pyrex little container, right, or dish. And then we've got our measuring cup, and we have already preheated the oven to 425. So flan, basically, it is a custard-like texture and dessert, and it is a sweet dessert.
Y tienes que poner la rack en el medio.
Okay, so you got to put the rack in the middle of the oven. So it's going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to get started, and then we'll show you how we're doing. But basically, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the caramel, or caramelo, which is technically going to go on the bottom of the dish here. And then we're going to mix the huevos, and the leche, and the azúcar, and limón.
No, limón es con el caramelo.
Oh, the limón is for the caramel. I better write that down. And then we're going to mix all the other ingredients in a pot, okay? And then we are going to place the ingredients in this dish, and then we're going to go ahead and put it inside this other dish. We're going to fill the larger dish with water. We're going to boil
Baño María.
on top of the stove until everything comes to a boil as far as the ingredients, and then the whole thing is going to go in the oven for
35 minutes.
35 minutos. And then we'll take it out. It'll need to cool. Once it's cool, you will take the flan and you will flip it over, and then your flan will be finished, and then we can eat it. So with that said, I am going to stop us right there, and I'll show you the progress later. Okay, aquí estamos. We're back, and it's been in the oven. We did have to move it to the lower rack to make sure that it was getting a little bit of a boil, because it wasn't doing that. So we did move it to the bottom rack. And the flan is done. Now it's just gonna cool here, and then once it cools enough to be able to pick it up and put it in the fridge, we'll put it in the fridge. We'll let it cool, and we'll eat it tonight. So yeah, so this is what I treasure most about my culture is the practice of gathering together and making some good traditional food, and enjoying the time making the food and then eating the food, and then of course passing that on to generations. So now it is going to be your turn. So what do you treasure about your culture or another culture? And what we want you to do are three things. Number one is we want you to tell us what culture it is that you treasure. So is it your culture or another culture? Number two is what about that culture do you treasure? What product, what practice, or what perspective, or maybe a couple of those, or maybe all three of them. And lastly, we want you to let us know why do you treasure that treasure. And explain it to us. So you can do an image and a written piece, or you can do a video, or however you want to do it, put it on that album. So, Mamá, muchas gracias.
De nada.
Okay, and Beth, I'm gonna pass it back to you.
Gracias, Senor Cern. That was so special to meet Mama Lola. As you can see, I'm back on a different day with a different shirt. And I just want to give you a couple other ideas for things that you could share for your Treasure Box Challenge. So this could be indeed some food or a recipe. This could be a tradition that you share about. It could be a piece of clothing or art. Even this piece of clothing reminds me of my in-laws' southern roots. It could be a piece of art that represents a place you would like to go, or an image of something that's special to you, or something from your heritage or a family heirloom. It could be a phrase or a joke or a wise saying from somebody in your family or in a different culture. It could be a word that you really love. Maybe it's just you like the way it sounds in another language and you talk about what that means to you. It could be a song that was sung to you as a child, or a song that you love from a different culture. It could be a place that you want to go someday, or a place that you've been and why it's special to you. It could be a tradition or a cultural event that you've attended or you dream of attending. So there's so many different things. That's just a start for some ideas of what you could share as a cultural treasure. And to go along with this week, we're inviting you to some other fun events that are happening. So Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo, so I'll post some activities with that. Wednesday, you have the chance to join Martina Fiorot Peak, who is our Italian student teacher from this last year, and Mr. Peak's wife, who's going to teach us how to make pasta on Wednesday afternoon. And so I will share a Zoom link and also an ingredient list so that you can join us for that. Thursday, we're going to have a Netflix party in the evening and watch a French animated film. And on Friday, we invite you to the International Club Zoom, where we're going to get all of our international students there, whether they are still in the area or have gone back home to other countries, maybe even some international students from the past and students from Inspire who are abroad right now. So let's celebrate and connect with our world and other cultures and find that while we are all different, we also have a lot of things in common. And indeed, we all have culture to treasure. Can't wait to see your submissions.
Voila!
Thanks, Senora Reed and Senora Cern and Mama Lola. What an amazing example of flan and culture. Don't forget, guys, this is due on Sunday, May 10th. Make sure you upload your media to Schoology, then go to Groups, Treasure Box Challenge, Albums, week of May 4th through May 5th. Upload anything that's visual in that folder, and you can submit yours to this awesome challenge. All right, see you guys later. Bye. Happy day.